So, so put yourself in the shoes of a remote viewer, which shouldn't be too hard for you.
Yes. I
So let's say
have.
you're a remote viewer and you got some perceptions that you thought were credible and they pointed towards some kind of an event, or not even necessarily an event, but maybe some information that could be helpful in an investigation of some kind that was going on. Say you got that information and you felt like you had enough there to make it useful. What would you do with that information? How would you deal with that?
Okay, well, seeing I'm pretending to be a remote viewer, I'll ask you to pretend to be a law enforcement official.
Okay.
And with your benefits, you deal in facts, you deal in dates.
Mm-hmm.
We come up, I come to you and say something is going to happen. The more general the information, the less is the likelihood you're going to react. And if I say
Okay.
something is going to happen in the last 6 months of this year,
So
probably too general.
let me then be the law enforcement guy here, and I'll ask you, okay, so when is it going to happen?
If you can't come up with a fairly specific date, you aren't much value. Law enforcement doesn't have the assets to watch the west gate of the White House with extra bodies for 24 hours a day for a year. But if I can say, yep, it's going to happen on 3 June, then you may go ahead and be willing to risk, 24 hours of overtime for 3 June to put people on.
So let me ask another question. Where is it going to happen?
Yep. If it's too general, it's going to be attack in the United States. Not enough information because there's just no way to react to it. If there is enough information, say it's going to be a elementary school. I see religious personnel here, women habits. It's close. It's in a city that's famous for a monument. Looks like an old mission or perhaps an old fort. It happens on a Friday just before school is out, and it happens when there's a parade going on downtown with people wearing green. Then you might you have a date, or you can come up with a date. You can say it's a Catholic school in San Antonio. It's going to occur on March 17th on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was sufficient information for the law enforcement to narrow it down and go ahead. They probably won't believe you, but they won't want to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can say and get out, they were warned. So in that case, if the resource expenditure is not great, and we can come up with a fairly specific time, place, and event, then your chances of having information acted on increase dramatically.
Okay. So then another of those questions would be, who is going to do that? How important is that? In terms of who is going to, let's say, launch an attack or whatever.
Who just tends to lend credibility. If you say that it's going to be a Islamic terrorist group, your chances are increased for having it acted upon. Then if you say it's going to be the Galactic Federation will open the war. So the more who's doing it, I think reflects on the credibility. It's more likely that a Mid-Eastern group will launch a terrorist attack nowadays than say a Marxist group would launch a terrorist attack. So the who becomes important to credibility and specifics.
Okay. All right. So let's pause for a moment.